And when I looked into your eyes that night, everything else faded. The palace, the bloodshed, the threats, the trembling voices of the men who dared to defy me. None of it mattered in that moment. You were sitting there by the window, the silver glow of the moon wrapping itself around you like a cloak, making you look ethereal, almost untouchable. My chest tightened as I watched you, because no matter how many times I see you, the feeling is always the same, overwhelming, consuming, breathtaking. My baby, I decided it for you, and every time my gaze falls upon you, I am reminded why. I cross the room slowly, silently, like a predator afraid to startle its most precious prey. My cloak fell to the floor without a sound as I knelt before you, not caring that my knees met the cold stone tiles. The world would call it undignified for a prince to kneel, but they will never understand that before you, I must kneel. You are not merely a part of my life, you are the axis upon which my very existence spins. My baby, I decided it for you, and in doing so, I chose to lay all my crowns and titles at your feet. Your fingers reached out, brushing through my hair, a soft touch that undid me completely. My breath caught, my body trembling as if that simple gesture held more power than any weapon ever forged. I took your hand and pressed it against my cheek, closing my eyes, savoring the warmth of you. You don't need to worry, you whispered softly, concern lacing your voice. I know you've been busy, but you seem tired. We can leave this palace, if it's too much. Those words nearly broke me. Live. As if I could ever let you step outside these walls unwarded. As if I could bear the thought of you walking into a world filled with people who would dare to look at you, to covet what is mine. I'd open my eyes slowly, my gaze locking with yours. There was so much innocence there, so much trust, and it terrified me more than any blade ever could. Why, baby, I decided it for you, and the very idea of anyone harming you, of you ever leaving my side, filled me with a darkness I could barely contain. I took both your hands in mine, holding them tightly as though by sheer force of will I could fuse our souls together. You don't understand, I said quietly, my voice trembling with emotion. There is no world outside these walls that deserves you. There is no life beyond this one that can keep you safe. You are everything, and if you were to leave I would burn this world to ash just to bring you back to me. Why, baby, I decided it for you, and that decision has no boundaries, no limits, no end. You blinked at me, startled, but before you could speak, I leaned forward and rested my head against your lap. My arms wrapped around your waist, holding you tightly, desperately, as if letting go for even a heartbeat might shatter me completely. For a moment, I didn't care how it looked, didn't care if I seemed weak. I needed you to feel it, to understand the depth of my love, my obsession, my vow. You are my sanctuary, I whispered into the fabric of your clothes, my voice raw, uncorded. When I'm with you, the rage disappears. The noise fades. The crown, the power, the endless demands, they mean nothing. Only you matter. You are my peace, my purpose, my salvation. Why, baby, I decided it for you, and I will keep deciding it until the end of time. You did speak. Instead, you cradled my head gently, your fingers threading through my hair in a way that soothed the storm inside me. The silence between us was sacred, a language only we understood. It was in that silence that I made another silent promise, never to let this go, never to let anyone tear you away from me. Eventually, you coaxed me to rise, guiding me toward the bed. You fussed over me, removing my heavy cloak, straightening the tunic beneath, your touch tender and unhurried. I watched you the entire time, marveling at how someone so soft, so delicate, could wield such absolute power over me. No courtier, no general, No enemy had ever brought me to my knees, but you had done it effortlessly, simply by existing. When you lay down beside me, your head resting on my chest, I wrapped my arms around you and held you close. The scent of your hair, the warmth of your body, the steady rhythm of your heartbeat, all of it anchored me in a way nothing else could. Why, baby, I decided it for you, and lying there with you in my arms, I knew with absolute certainty that there was nothing I wouldn't do to protect this moment, to protect you. As you drifted off to sleep, blissfully unaware of the chaos I had wrought earlier, I stared into the darkness and let my mind sharpen with resolve. It would never touch you. They would never speak of you. They would never even think of you again. I would make certain of it. And if I had to raise kingdoms, drown empires, and turn this very palace into a grave for anyone who dared to threaten what was mine, so be it. Why, baby, I decided it for. And tonight, as I stand here in the silence of my chambers, staring at the crimson-stained horizon, I feel the weight of that decision pressing against my chest like a blade. It is a beautiful kind of pain, one that reminds me why I fight, why I rule, why I exist at all. Everything I am, everything I have done, every step I have taken, it has always been leading here to you. The court whispers of power, of alliances, of kingdoms rising and falling like waves, but they do not see the truth behind my every move. They think I am a prince consumed by ambition, but the reality is far simpler, far more dangerous. Why, baby, I decided it for you, and every alliance I forge, every enemy I crush, every drop of blood spilled in my name, all of it is to ensure that no shadow ever touches you. Today they dare to test me. They spoke your name in a room where they had no right to utter it, their voices laced with poison, their smiles sharp with malice. I stood there unmoving, while they talked as if you were nothing more than a pawn on their board. Inside I burned. I wanted to tear down the walls around us, and show them what it means to speak of you in such a way. Why, baby, I decided it for you, and I will never allow another soul to think they can touch what is mine. I listened to their schemes, their veiled threats, and with every word they spoke, my resolve grew colder, sharper. They believed me to be calm, but that calmness is the stillness of a storm gathering its full strength. When I left that room, I carried their words with me like a wound that refuses to close. And as I walked through the hallways of this palace, the corridors lined with banners and portraits of kings long dead, I realized something undeniable. This crown on my head is meaningless without you. These halls are nothing but empty echoes unless your ladder fills them. The throne they expect me to sit upon feels like stone beneath my skin unless your hand rests in mine. Why, baby, I decided it for you, and because of that, I will turn this entire empire into a sanctuary where you will never have to fear a single glance or whisper. But the darkness within me does not always remain silent. When I am alone, it speaks. It tells me to go further, to be relentless, to ensure that no one even dreams of challenging my claim to you. I do not know when my love became this wild, this consuming, but perhaps it was always destined to be this way. A love like ours cannot be soft or ordinary. It is fierce, it is unyielding, it is as eternal as the stars themselves. Why, baby, I decided it for you, and if the cost of that decision is becoming a tyrant in their eyes, then let them call me one. I will wear their hatred like armor, so long as it means you are untouched. Tonight, I stand at my balcony, the cool night air brushing against my face, and I imagine you asleep, far from the chaos of court, safe in the sanctuary I built for you. Do you dream of me the way I dream of you? Do you know that while you sleep, I remain awake, watching over a world that would tear itself apart if it meant reaching you? Why, baby, I decided it for you, and while the rest of the world slumbers, I plan, and I plot, and I ensure that nothing will ever come between us. But tomorrow they will see. Tomorrow, those who dare to speak your name with malice will learn the price of their folly. I will not need to raise my voice. I will not need to make a spectacle of my wrath. My actions will speak for me, as they always have. Their fear will spread through the court like wildfire, and no one will ever dare to repeat today's mistake. Why, baby, I decided it for you, and tomorrow, I will remind them all why that decision is final and absolute. And when the day ends, when the palace grows silent once more, I will return to you. I will kneel before you not as a prince, not as a ruler, but as a man who belongs entirely to you. I will take your hands in mine, and I will whisper the same words I have whispered since the beginning. My baby, I decided it for you. And you will know, without a doubt, that everything I am, and everything I have done has always been for you alone. And now, they will see what those words truly mean. The dawn came pale and cold, the sun struggling to rise behind the veil of storm clouds that had gathered overnight. It felt almost poetic, as though the very sky knew what was to come, as though the heavens themselves held their breath. My steps were silent as I walked down the great hall, the weight of my cloak trailing behind me like a shadow. Guards lined the corridor, their eyes fixed forward, their bodies tense, but not one of them dared to meet my gaze. They could feel the fury beneath my calm exterior, the storm raging just beneath the surface. When I entered the council chamber, the room fell into a suffocating silence. The men who had spoken of you yesterday sat there, their false bravado clinging to them like cheap perfume. Their smiles were gone, ripple.